Alright, so as most of you guys have probably seen, I recently just made my first week of finals AFL tips and predictions again. If you haven't gone and checked that out, I do highly recommend it. You know, it's kind of like the prequel for this video, so I'll try and remember to link it down below, but obviously I'm pretty mentally challenged, so yeah, it'll probably be uploaded a couple of videos before this one anyway. But I thought in today's video, we should actually go over my official 2024 AFL Finals prediction. We're going to be going on the ladder predictor, kind of just seeing what's going on. And I'm not going to lie, I haven't exactly put a ton of video research into this one. And I think that's the fun part. I'm kind of going to raw dog this video and just go along with you guys. You guys are watching me real time try and use my brain to fucking calculate who's going to win the 2024 AFL Premiership. I've got a fair idea of who I think could win it, but doing a finals predictor, some team could absolutely surprise another team and, you know, pretty much touch another team without consent at home or some shit. I don't really know. So we're going to be figuring this all out together. I guess without further ado, let's just get straight into it. All right, so here we are on the 2024 ladder predictor. Again, as I mentioned earlier, go and check out my first week of finals predictor. Give it a watch. Again, it helps me feed my imaginary wife and kids. So if you guys can go do that, I'll literally, you guys can sit on my face. I'll give you permission at this rate. But obviously, I did actually back in the Swans, which I didn't know, you know, that was definitely the hardest one. I backed in the Lions, I backed in the Hawks, and I backed in the Power. Again, I give all my thoughts and opinions on that in that video. And then now we've got the semi-finals. So this is cooked because these are kind of the two teams I originally thought were going to make the grand final. So the fact is, we're going to knock off one of these teams before I get even into the prelim. But as I mentioned earlier, GWS could easily come out and knock Sydney Swans off. So it's a toughie, but I think personally, I think the Lions can get this done at home. The issue is the Lions, their set shots is literally gives me stage 8 diarrhea. It's pretty fucking bad. This is commonly known at this rate. And then we've got Geelong versus Hawthorn, even though, man, I think Hawthorn are on fire. They are crazy as a team right now. They've got all the momentum. I think the only bad thing the Cats have is their midfield. But I think they get this done. I think they get it done. And this is a great rivalry. Like, this is going to put a lot of hair on balls for multiple AFL fans out there because this is one that a lot of people like to look at. But yeah, I think the Cats can get it done, ladies and gentlemen. Like, that's just the reality. Then we got, this is huge, man. What the fuck? This is crazy because I'm not going to lie, as I said earlier, I had GWS versus Brisbane in my grand final. But with how the finals are going, it could be, I think Sydney will take care of Geelong quite comfortably at home. Their midfield will just dominate Geelong's. But again, Geelong, I mean, they did pretty well against them a couple years ago, so I could be very wrong about that. But I think Sydney take care of Geelong. Do Port Adelaide beat the Lions at home? I think they do because the Lions' goal kicking has just been so bad. And it's one of those situations where, like, I remember when I was watching the Browns, right? The Cleveland Browns in the NFL. How I always thought about it is, it'd be awesome if we won this playoff, you know, series. But it would be a little weird knowing that next year we get these injured players back because we had a lot of injuries and we're supposed to technically get better. Is that a thought that Brisbane... Like, is that kind of on the same line as Brisbane, where Brisbane are like, look, we could currently be the best team in the AFL right now. Could be, right? But we're supposed to be adding another Ashcroft next year. We're supposed to be adding Coleman, a bunch of other injuries that we've had over this year, and of players who haven't even played a game for them. Like, fuck, I forgot the Adelaide dude's name, but the guy they brought in from Adelaide, who was like their best key defender at one stage. It's almost like that situation of, we think we're the best team, but we're supposed to get way better. How is this going to work? Again, I don't know. I don't know if Brisbane... I don't think they beat Port Adelaide at home. Again, I still think there's a lot of room for Brisbane to improve here, especially with their goal kicking. Like, my God, that Kane Cornes elaborated on this. They are kicking, and Matthew Lloyd, sorry, they're kicking way more points than they are goals, like literally nearly every game. I think the two home teams can get into the granny here, where we've got Sydney versus Port Adelaide. That is not who I thought I was going to have in the grand final at all. I think Port Adelaide could definitely make the granny, but I think this should maybe even be GWS versus Sydney. I think whoever wins out of GWS and Sydney will make the grand final. That is my truth. Weirdly enough, I think if it was GWS here, GWS would take care of Port Adelaide. But something tells me that Port Adelaide can win the fucking flag here. Oh my God. That is crazy. So I think Port Adelaide, if it goes like this, can genuinely win the flag. I think this is the best team they have had under Ken Hinkley. In my opinion, like, this is their best team under Ken Hinkley. But the reality is, if GWS win this, right? If GWS win week 1 and we do, it would be like the same, probably the same thing there. Sydney would take care of them. I guess, as I said, Port Adelaide, I think GWS would beat there. And I think GWS would win the flag if they play Port Adelaide, though. That's like a crazy thought that whoever wins out of GWS and Sydney, in my opinion, will make the grand final. Like, that is crazy. Like, what the fuck? Like, congratulations to Port Adelaide. I think if they play Sydney, they low-key get the job done. But I think if they play the Giants, they legitimately lose. I don't know how I'm basing this off. It's just my thoughts and opinions on how I'm thinking about matchups and how they work. But I think Port Adelaide's biggest strength is their midfield. And even though I know Sydney's can combat it, I feel like they're both so offensive heavy. GWS's midfield to me is more defensive. I think if GWS make the grand final, they can kind of counter what Port Adelaide's got going in their midfield. And I don't know if Port Adelaide can stop the Giants forward line. The Giants forward line right now is almost indestructible. Yeah, I don't know if I'm too happy with this. I don't know. I think the flag winner will either be Port Adelaide or GWS. That's what I think. And I know a lot of people aren't backing in Port Adelaide right now, but I legitimately think they're a massive chance. So that's legitimately crazy that I thought the grand final, like, teams could either be like Brisbane, Sydney, or GWS, right? And I kind of came out with Port Adelaide winning the, I think, like, the first draw I just did then. It really just shows you how close the 2024 finals are probably going to be. Again, it's probably one of the most even final series we've seen in a bit. Obviously, previously, people thought Collingwood were going to win. Previously, people thought Geelong were going to win. They were like the consensus. I don't know if there's really a consensus this year. Again, as I said, I think either one of Sydney or GWS are guaranteed to make the grand final if it goes how I think it's going to go. I think, as I just said then, it will either be Port Adelaide or GWS as the flag winners. This is going to be super interesting to see. Again, I'd very much like to know all of your thoughts and opinions on this all down below. Do you guys agree with my finals, tips and predictions and whatnot? Subscribe to my gaming channel, my IRL/Flying channel, and this channel for all latest sports content, sports news, all of the above. And yeah, most importantly, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.